Well, hello, good morning. Happy Monday morning to everybody. It's a great day to be alive, great day to be an electrician. Get out there and make some money. My name is Paul Abernathy, as always, a host of Master the NEC, the podcast, as well as Electrify and Let's Ask Paul podcast. Hopefully you checked out those other podcasts. There are literally hundreds of them. So make sure you go check that out over on, if you have our app, it's really easy to get all of our podcasts through the app. In fact, it's just one of the tabs in the app. You just click on it and you can listen to every single podcast. But if not, you can also listen to our podcasts on all of your popular listening platforms. Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Deezer, shoot. We're on all of them. So make sure you check them out and listen to any episode. We try to title them as good as we can, but look at the description. You can see what the episode's about or what I'm talking about. The Let's Ask Paul ones are usually just me answering questions that people submit over on our portal, over on paulabernathy.com. So make sure you check that out so you can see any questions that get submitted. I'll try to answer them for you. If you got your own questions, please do me a favor. Jump on over there, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions for you. So today's episode, again, I wanted to talk about a couple things that are going to be coming up in 2023. A lot of people want to know, like, a little sneak peek of things that we have in the works. Well, obviously, the Fast Tracks program is doing well. We have a lot of students in it, kicking along, and everybody's doing great, passing exams, or, calculations are tough. And sometimes you get close enough and you fall a little short and people get frustrated. And it's easy to get frustrated because, again, you're putting so much time into something. What I usually will tell, a student that attempts an exam, let's say, and they're not successful and it's frustrating, they'll get really frustrated and they'll feel like everything's lost, all this time they spent. That's not true. Some people test better than others. And tests can be, you got to remember, a lot of times the people that are helping write these tests have not actually been in the field for years. So they're sitting there writing test questions on some of the most obscure requirements in the code, or they're writing in a calculation that is, you really wouldn't have in the field. For example, we ask a lot of questions about the standard method, and reality is most people out in the field aren't going to use the standard method. I mean, the reality is they're going to use the optional method, and when they size the neutral, they're just going to size it typically full-sized to whatever the ungrounded conductors are. That way they don't have to worry about any calculation, right? For the most part. There are some occasions where you have some three-phase Y systems, and you might have some loads that might be cause the neutral to carry more current than normal, that type of thing. And so we have to, and you deal with harmonics and all that stuff. But for the most part, most of the applications in your career, you're probably never going to use that. Because when it comes to the neutral, you have to use the standard method. So you have to. So there's a lot of times people will say, you don't need to use the standard method, but that's not necessarily true. If you're properly sizing your neutral, then you would. But on an exam, that, again, it can get quite confusing for people. And so I understand it, but don't give up. Make sure you stay your head into the code. Make sure you continue to study. You're going to get it. Stay focused. And the more time you spend in it, the better you're going to get. Just because you have some questions on an exam that might throw you, the overall body of your knowledge is going to be vast. And so you can't focus on, if you take an exam and I fail it by one or two questions. You can't let that eat you away. And trust me, people say that's easier said than done. I get it. I've had to live vicariously through students for over 30 years, successes and failures. And ultimately, those that are dedicated to it will get it. And it doesn't matter. It's kind of one of those things. It's like a doctor, right? Or lawyer. If they fail the bar or they fail their doctor's exam, they'll come back and take it again. They'll keep taking it until they get it. And once they get it, it doesn't matter how many times that they took it. They've got it. Nobody ever asked the doctor how many times you took your physician's exam. Nobody asks a lawyer how many times you sat for the bar. Once you get it, you get it. So don't stress the number. Now, monetarily, it usually costs a little bit to take an exam again. And again, that's just part of business. That's part of, okay, that sucks. But it is what it is. So don't stress it out. And certainly, don't get in dumps where you feel like you just don't know something. You're not. Look, if you've been going through a course, any course, you've been immersing yourself in knowledge, then you know more than probably 80% of the electricians out there. Because you're actively studying, you're actively becoming involved in learning the National Electrical Code. The hands-on part we can't help you with. You'll get that. You had to put in that time anyway to be able to sit for an exam. So we're working the mental part. And again, some people struggle. One of the biggest things that people struggle with, and you may or may not identify with this, is reading comprehension. Reading information and putting two and two together sometimes can be quite difficult for people. And if you fall into that category, you're not alone. It's probably the number one thing that I get from students who contact me, reach out to me, that are on our message board, that are in our app, is that they'll contact us and want clarity on a certain phrase in the code, or what does this mean, or what does that mean? And so we get it, we understand it. So in order to be able to make things a little bit better, in 2023, what we're embarking on, okay, this is where we're at. I'm introducing the Fast Tracks videos. And what this is going to be, and this is an undertaking that's going to be quite extensive, and I hope you can appreciate, those that are in the program can appreciate the gravity of this. With all of the units that we have, all of the specific subdivisions that are in our lessons, all of the stuff, to create videos that basically will read the information to you so that you can, in a lecture style, but actually get to pieces of it in there that are explained to you, that are, certain terminologies that we can identify that are, and y'all seen my style of teaching, many of you that have followed me, y'all seen my style of teaching where I'll be reading something, and in something as an electrician, a statement that is quite confusing or could be confusing to many people, one of my approaches is that I will stop and I will try to explain that a little deeper. And so we're going to be doing that as well in this. Looks like we got a fire truck coming here, so excuse the alarms here. So it looks to me like people want a little bit more of the video aspect of it. Now I'll tell you, we have the Fast Tracks Plus. It was just recently on sale. We had a lot of people take advantage of that. Welcome to the family. And there's a chance we'll do another special before Christmas. But the concept is we want to create videos that help supplement the program. So we're going to be working on that, and that's not going to be available until next year. It's an awful lot of videos. Now, what we're struggling with is whether or not we just start fresh with the 2023 or we also do the 2020. I don't think that we're going to support the 2017 when it comes to the video versions because that would be, at this point, 2 cycles out. I know there's some states that are still on it, but our normal Fast Tracks program seems to handle those fine, and people are very successful with it. But we have to continually move forward. And when we're talking about, possibly 400 or 500 videos, if we were to do those separately for the 2020 versus 2023, then we're looking at potentially 600, 700 videos. And that's just not practical for us to be able to get that many out. So the goal is to focus on 2023, but I think what we're going to do is, I feel like we have to do 2020. And so that's going to be quite a few videos. So patience. And so anybody that's in the existing program, please don't send me emails saying, when is the video going to come out? I have no idea. It is next year in 2023. It could be all the way as far as till the summer. Because again, we physically have to record all of these videos. And so, and a lot of times I want to create graphics to support some stuff. So it's not going to be just snap the fingers and we get the videos. So patience with that. But that is the future of it that we got coming out with it. Also, y'all probably saw me mention that we're working on something called Fast Tracks Tube. We're working on that as well to be the supporting aspect of the system. Now, we're struggling with that because, we have a nice video system built into our website, which works through the app and everything like that. So this would be on a different website, and it kind of would take you away from our corporate website. So we're struggling on how we should move from that. If you're listening to this podcast and you want to give us a suggestion on how you think, if you're an active user, if you say it doesn't matter, I'd like to have a separate site that has nothing but the video Fast Track series, then that's great. We will love that feedback. But that's what we're looking to do, because we do understand that there is a certain number of people out there who still want videos. Videos are the way that people can get the visual as well. Now, just recently, this weekend, we had somebody, and it's the first person that I've ever had in our program want the book of the Fast Tracks. You can download anything, every page individually, but you can't click anything and download the entire book. That's not an option, but you can print every page individually. As you're studying it, just print it out as you're doing the lesson. And then once you're done, compile it all in your little folder. That's what I recommend, because it's designed for you to really work this online. We never designed for it to be the print edition. We wanted you to work Unit 1, print out Unit 1, print each page. That involvement, that interaction with it is going to help you become more knowledgeable of the material. And so that was our intent with it. It's not something that you just turn around and right click and print the whole book. That was not ever the intent of it. I know some people would like that for studying in places where they don't have the internet or something. But again, you can print out whatever pages you want prior. If you're going to work on one unit, that type of thing, then print out that unit. It's not that many pages, and again, it would be no different if you printed the entire thing. So in our console, you have on the right, you'll have a little book, and that book will open up the course material book. And then in that, you could print out each page if you wanted in that individually, and then you can just compile it together in units, and just as easy to do it that way. So again, that's a prospect where, stop being a pessimist, be an optimist, and focus on unit at a time, and be thankful for what we at least can provide you, and not be so critical of what we can. It is what it is. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. Okay, I have to work within the confines of the software, and this is what the software is. And so I never claimed that you could get the entire book unless you print out page by page. If that's what you want to do. I've never seen a need for that, because I'd be honest with you, most places we go, you're able to get to the material and read it fine from a laptop, from a tablet, even from a phone. So, but anyway, so that's what we got coming and look forward to in 2023. We got some other things that are going to happen, but we just gotta, those things will happen as they happen, and I'll let you know. I'll give you updates on them, of all the things that happen, and look forward to sharing all that information with you. There's going to be some neat things that we're going to be doing and trying to create our own little ecosystem. We have the Sparky Hub, So if we get the Fast Tracks tube to share our videos, that is a difficult one in itself because there's so many layers. If we were to throw that on the website, it'd be easy, right? And that might be what we end up doing. But I really like the thought of having a separate site for it. Tell me what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear them. Most people say it doesn't matter because they'll go wherever they got to go to get the information. But I do want to try to keep it as easy to follow as possible and avoid confusion. So we'll do our best to do that. But yeah, that's some great things we have coming up. Do me a favor though. Make sure you share our system. We do not advertise. We do not run ads in newspapers. We do not run things in magazines. If you found any of our stuff beneficial and you know an electrician or somebody studying to be an electrician, do me a favor. It would be a personal favor of me if you were to share our website, share our courses, give testimonial to the Fast Tracks or any of our material you've used. We have a lot of videos that kept telling you. Again, y'all all know that we're kind of waiting for this new studio and to be where we can kind of really focus on producing videos with a new set and everything that we have. But we're not there yet, so just be patient with us. But we have a lot of content that's out there. Also, the folks that do the monthly and annual subscription, a lot of that has to do with, monthly you can come and go as you want. The monthly thing is going to go away in January, and it's going to be just annual. And it's just a business move. We have to secure the annuals in order to make that program worth it for that type of thing. We don't like the reoccurring. I understand that some people aren't going to want to do that and drop the membership, and that's okay. We understand. The whole purpose of the monthly, we knew, is people could come and go if they got what they needed and they finished watching the hundreds of videos and everything that's there, and they're like, well, it's served its purpose, and they go. That's fine. Most of the people that do the annual, I think, are also supporting us in those efforts to be able to do that. So we appreciate that. Also, again, remember that we have a webinar coming up on January 7th, I believe. Go check out our website under the members area tab. You'll see, drop down, you'll see events. We're having a calculations webinar in January. I believe it's 7th. It's on a Saturday. It's an all-day event where I go over everything from transformer calculations to range calculations to one-family dwellings to multi-family dwellings to commercial to, we'll talk about motor calculations. We'll go over so much stuff to make sure that everybody's clear on the basic necessary calculations that you need to be successful. And for many people, it's just going to be basically probably a refresher. For others, it's going to answer those questions of clarity. And again, if you're really advanced and you're proficient already, then it's probably not for you. So, but if you really want to gain the knowledge, ask questions, and be able to interact, then it's going to be great. And I encourage you to join. If you're somebody listening to this, and I'm going to tell you, usually it's only for Fast Track students, but I'm going to tell you we have a discount code. It is 125OFF, 125OFF. It's $125 off. You'll get $125 off the webinars. So if you're listening this far into the podcast, then there's a treat for you. You can save $125 off, get a day of education. No, you don't get continuing use certificates for this, so don't ask. But you get a lot of knowledge. So wanted to throw that little nugget out there at the end. So, all right, folks, thanks for listening. Hope you get something out of the episode, and stay focused. You'll get that license. If you already have it, congratulations on being successful. So thanks again, and God bless, and we'll catch you in another episode.